Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and today we're going to be giving our first impressions on Kashgar. Or Kashgar. Or,
Merchants of the Silk Road.
yes. Or as I called it the first time I saw it, Kashmir. For some reason, I thought there was an M, but I don't know. Now looking at it, I don't know where that M was. Must have thought it was that A or something. But yeah, so it's mainly a card game.
Card-driven game.
Yeah, a card-driven game with a little bit of engine building, and it's a race game as well, where you're just trying to hit 25 points to trigger the end of the game. And yeah, what were your first thoughts on it? So the story behind this one is you got this for my birthday. I obviously, based on not knowing the name,
had ever heard of it.
Had never heard of it,
but you never really knew of it. I had seen it. I believe it was in Z Garcia's top 100 games of all time. And
I do not remember
the
that.
way he talked about it kind of sounded like one of those card games that's just really quick and snappy, trying to get your engine going. And I thought, I think that's kind of the type of game that we like, or you like at least.
I usually like it when it's snappy, and you can even possibly, be still finishing up your move, but then the next player can already kind of start.
Yeah.
Not quite simultaneous, but very close. At least
like,
in
here's
some
my action
place.
done. Yep.
Done.
Done.
Yeah, that's the thing that I really do enjoy in games, when it feels like your actions are pretty quick, and there's, in this game in particular, there's not really that much that like an opponent can change. There might be some things. We didn't get through all the cards, obviously, because this is literally after our first play of it.
Yeah.
So we didn't see everything in the game, obviously, but it didn't really, from our play, it wasn't really a game where someone can interfere with what you were going to do, and then you have to totally change what you're going to do. It doesn't really have that much of that, so you can kind of be thinking of your turn as the other player is going, so that's what allows it to be that quick, snappy turns.
Yeah.
You were hoping to enjoy it. I, not knowing much about it at all, and I don't remember it being on Z's Top 100, but when I saw it, it did have a Euro-y look, and then when I did the unboxing for this one, I really, really liked the artwork on the cards. It even was a little more flashy or more beautiful than it seems like a lot of the more Euro-y games are. So I was really excited to play this one just based on that alone. A lot of the card artwork is really, really nice, especially for, when I saw the cover, I was kind of expecting a little bit more of a blah,
more dry.
a blah feeling, But no, it's really a beautiful game, and it's like the perfect amount. I think it's like almost the perfect amount of color. There's some color in there, but it's not like really, really bright, flashy colors. So it still really fits
I think
with kind of what the game is trying to be.
It's obviously not that thematic of a game, but it kind of puts you into that world. I think the artwork does a good job of that.
Yeah, for sure. So, I was, once I had unboxed it, I was definitely excited to play it, and I was hoping for a really good game. So then we kind of talked a little bit about playing it. So, the goal is to get to 25 points, so it's a bit of a race, which at least you said you usually win on the first time.
Yes,
but I think
it's a race game. I think you usually take too much time trying to build some sort of engine for the long game, where I'm just kind of focusing on getting those next points. I think that favors me a little bit in our first play of most of these race games.
I would agree, because it's usually these games end up ending way before I expect them to, or didn't really have an idea of how long the game was going to last. I think I typically, in these types of games where there's a little bit of engine building, I usually like to try to get a good engine. And in this game, at least from our first play, I don't know that you can try to get some good cards and try to get it played over and over again, but I'll tell you that I don't think you can build, like, in and I don't think you have enough time to build like a really great engine.
Like multi-part,
Right.
huge engine that is very efficient. I don't know if you. I mean, I guess I don't know. 'Cause it doesn't say there's like a variant for more points to trigger the end game, but I feel like that's something that could be put in there to possibly extend the game to maybe give you another more time to build an engine. But then at the same time, I feel like you could get too many cards in your engines, which is one of the things. The more cards that you add, the less often you'll be able to
use your best
your good cards in that column, because you're cycling through them, which I like quite a bit in the game.
Because you pretty much have 3 different engines going here at once, which all start out with 2 cards. One of them is a patriarch or matriarch card, depending on which side you have it on. So you have 3 of those to start the game, and then you have 3 other
cards. Draw cards.
Yep. So that's the way to kind of continue, or almost force you to continue building.
Yeah.
Because there might be times where you're not wanting to continue adding cards.
Yeah.
Because you'd like to just get through them. And I think I saw a couple of cards, or had a couple, that allowed me to. One of them allowed me to get rid of a patriarch from any of my columns. So I did end up doing that. I wasn't sure if that was going to be a good thing or not, but I figured that way I could keep cycling through those few cards. But otherwise, as the game goes on, you definitely start to add a lot of cards, because as you can see, this was the row that I wanted to use quite a bit to fulfill orders, but then I ended up getting, now I have 6 cards in there, and so that takes you 6 turns before you're going to get to do that specific one again, so it gets to be a long wait.
Yeah, it does.
Especially in this. I don't know. We were definitely towards the end. I know when we were both around 20 points, it seemed like we were just trying to get those last couple points however we could. I don't think I would have had many time, or once we got to that phase, I don't know if I would have been able to get through 6 cards again that easily. But, I think that's kind of...
Yeah, I'd kind of do the same thing. It's tough because, you do want more cards in there, more options, but you also want a small engine, so you keep hitting it. I was able to get a good one here. I had this Market Woman, which I believe was similar to one that you had, that increased each of your resources by 1, but yours... some of the abilities are you use them, and some are you use them once and discard them.
Yes.
Which can be good to kind of clean up your engine, but also it could be sacrificing points, and it's only a one-time use.
Yeah.
But I was able to have this right before a card that let me fulfill a small order, which usually only takes like 1 of each. So I was able to get those back-to-back in my... only 4 cards in that column, so I was able to hit that quite a few times, which I think ended up being the difference in the game. And it is kind of a weird pull of, do I want to keep this card for its point? Because points can be very tight, like even 1 or 2 points is huge. Or do I use that ability and discard it and lose those points?
Yeah, for sure. Because I think I ended up getting rid of 1, maybe 2 that had points. So the winner was you, who ended up. Did you end up with 25 exactly?
I ended up with 25 exactly.
Yeah, and what did I say? I think I had 22. So, and I had gotten rid of a couple, so it was very tight. And towards the end, outside of your very final move, we were just kind of trying to get back to our patriarchs, which allowed us to draw those cards to try to get the small, because some of those cards, the base cards, have either a point or 2 points, or
1
even
or 2 points
typically, or there might be 3-point ones in there. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but then a lot of them have no points. So I think we were kind of trying to hope to get a couple of those to end it, because we'd gotten to the point where all the orders that we could fulfill that were left were all large orders, and neither of us really were even close. Yeah, maybe that one possibly I could have.
I had kind of run out of my donkeys, which you need a certain amount of donkeys to fulfill these, and I had kind of spent them throughout the game, so I was no longer able to fill any of those orders. So it was just kind of trying to get cards with points on them. And yeah, I ended up going through this deck of special cards, which we never went to except for that time. Well, we really didn't. I think we might have had options, but we didn't know what was in here. It's the first game, so we didn't really explore it. But I was able to go through there and pick a card out of there, or one of six cards that I drew, and that was able to get me the points that I needed to win the game.
Yeah, I guess I should have been paying a little bit more attention for those special cards because I didn't really realize what they did, but yeah, I noticed after the game that all of those did have at least a 1 point value,
1 point,
so you were guaranteed points going there. I should have assumed that it was something like that, but yeah, looking back, that would be one thing that I would change in my future plays. I think is if I have that opportunity or setting myself up to maybe late go for one of those to have a chance to win the game that way. Especially if I get to the point again where I'm not really able to fulfill any of the remaining orders.
Yeah.
So I guess what were your overall first thoughts on the game?
It was as quick and snappy as I wanted it to be. I really like the cycling of the cards and being able to build possibly 3 different columns. To, like, if you have one, maybe to kind of build up production, and then you can get another one and build that to kind of make orders or draw cards or something. I feel like there's a lot of different ways you can build them.
Right.
And we haven't even begun. I'm guessing they're similar to what we've seen, but there are a lot of more cards to explore.
Yeah, we only got through probably maybe a third of the deck.
Yeah, maybe a
probably.
Third. But yeah, it's. I look at some of these large orders, and they have such high costs. Like
I just don't know how you get some of those.
4 black, as well as 3 mules, and I'm like, I don't even know what kind of engines are people building that they're able to afford.
Well, I mean, this was late. I got the Night Watchman, which allowed me to set one of them to 5. So I guess if you got that and then had one of either your +1s to all of them, or I had one that increased one of them by 1 as well.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I didn't get this till like the very end, so didn't really have the opportunity to do that. But yeah, otherwise based on the other cards I had, I don't really see how I would have gotten to like 6 of some of those. Because I wouldn't say a ton of these cards have ways to get a lot. And usually if they do, then it's like set something else too, which even if that would decrease it, you have to move it down. So even if you had 4 of the pink trade bags and it said you had to set the pink to 2, you'd still have to move it down, even though you'd rather not do that. You'd rather not do that. But yeah. So what does that equate to in possible first?
First, this kind of gives me similar feels to Century Golem Edition with the card play and kind of your cycling through this. You have a little more control in that game of what actions you use, but kind of gave me a similar feel to that one. Yeah,
I would agree that it's definitely similar to that. Yeah, I think that one, like you said, is probably you have a little more control than this. And I think that makes it, because you have that control, it makes it a little bit easier to fulfill those orders or buying the different golems, or if you're using the spice one, I don't remember what the rewards are, but whichever one you are doing, trying to buy, I think that one, it's a little bit easier to do that. But I would agree.
Yeah, but I like that game, and this is in the kind of same strain of games there. So I think an initial first impression rating, I'll give this an 8.
Oh, wow!
So pretty good. I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's a little bit higher than myself. I think I'll give it an initial rating of 7. I definitely like you said, the way how you can build the multiple engines and kind of try to build slightly different things in each one to give yourself a few different options if you can. I like the way the order stuff works, but I feel like I didn't use it as much as I would have liked to. Like it seemed a little bit more difficult to do that action. But maybe, obviously, like I said, we haven't even hit 2/3 of the cards, so I don't know what I didn't look through to see what they all do. I didn't see what all the special ones do. I'm guessing those are probably pretty good as well. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing this one more and seeing what these other cards have.
Increase black by 5, set 1 to 9.
Ooh. So yeah,
order, remove cards. Yeah, they're pretty good.
So yeah, so definitely, I think with more plays, I could see this one going up because I do like the snappiness of it as well. It's a very quick game, like you said. Especially in 2 players, we just kept going back and forth.
It says here
pretty quickly.
60 minutes. It wasn't even.
No, it wasn't 60 minutes,
close.
And it was our first play of it, and yeah, maybe it was 60 with the rules, but I don't even know if it was that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was probably under that. So yeah, it's it's pretty simple. I think once you know the terminology, like set versus like increase.
Yeah.
So set, you have to put it there. I think just knowing some of the terminology is probably the hardest thing maybe about the game. Otherwise, they're pretty clear on what each of the cards do. So it's kind of one of those games where a lot of the cards have some text on them and are just very clear about what they do specifically.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, right off the bat, I'd give it a solid 7, and hopefully it'll increase with more plays.
If he gets a win.
Yeah, that's what really knocked it down.
Yeah, I'm looking. It's definitely a quick one you can play a few times in a row, and maybe we will, maybe we won't.
We will see.
We'll have to film a second and third impressions video.
back to back.
As it just climbs up to a 10.
There we go.
Yeah, I think that's it for our first impressions.
Yeah. If you've got any questions on the game, definitely leave a comment below. And
yes, we are the experts.
We are the experts of this game, so we will definitely get back to you and tell you the answer of anything you've got. But no, we could definitely look it up if this game, like me, I was not aware of this game, so if you want to know more, definitely leave a comment below, and we definitely play it some more and look into it for you.
Yeah, for sure.
But otherwise, as always, don't forget to
keep on nibbling.